In this video, I'll be showing you guys how to build stackable tunnel bores. I'll be showing you how to build two different tunnel bores, one with two TNT launchers and one with one TNT launcher. Everything in the video will be separated by chapters, meaning instead of having to tediously scroll through, you can just select where you want to go and boom, you're there. All right, so building the first one, this is everything you're going to need for the basic tunnel bore system. So this is the base of it. This stuff is alternate, so you can alternate your minecart with a minecart chest for more storage on here. The 3 slime blocks here with the honey block are not needed at all. You can remove this and the system will work just fine. So if we hit this, boom, the system moves one. Remove them, the system should still move because you don't actually need. The only reason the honey block was there is so that you could stand on this while the system's moving and you could just ride the machine instead of walking yourself if you're lazy like that. First off, let's gather our 1 block here. So that's one of them. And then we have these guys to put 5 ancient debris because this is where the TNT will be launched onto to the end of this so that it blows up properly on the wall. Next, you're going to want to put your piston right here, 1 block away from that. And then you're going to want to put a observer facing into that piston so that it activates and the face is facing the opposite direction. Next, you want to put a fence post right here and then your dead coral fan on top of the observer. Next, you're going to want to take your TNT and you're going to want to put your TNT on top of this fence post right here with a slab against the fence post and a slime block right here. Next, you're going to want to put your last solid block right here with a slime block on top. Take a placeholder block of some sort and just place it there. Put a slab above the TNT, then take another slime block and place it against that slab, then remove your placeholder block. This is your TNT duper. Later, we will add that minecart right there to the front here, but I'll show you guys how to do that because you don't want to place that minecart on there or else you'll activate the TNT. Next, you're going to want to do this. You're going to want to bring over here 1 block away from your slime block, place yourself a piston with an observer facing into it, and then a honey block on this side. This is your separation system so that you have a little extra space for your TNT duper to be in front. Otherwise, your engine will be blown up by TNT because it would be too far forward. Next, we're going to build a system that makes this actually tileable. What you're going to want to do is come out 3 blocks, remove your 2 in the middle, and place a regular piston on that 3rd block facing inwards. Next, you're going to want to replace that block with a slime block, put 1 left-hand side of the piston if you're facing this way, and put 1 more up here so you have a diagonal of slime blocks like this. Next, you're going to want to put a sticky piston against this guy facing towards this block, and then you're going to want to put an observer facing into this guy, and then you're going to want to put an observer facing this way so both the faces are kind of like side-eyeing each other. Next, you're going to want to put a regular piston down here with a slime block underneath this guy. Now, this will make sure that this guy keeps pushing with the system, and this will keep the system moving and won't make it get left behind. Next, you're going to take a redstone block, your 1 redstone block, you want to place it against this guy, which should activate it. Don't remove the redstone block, he needs to stay. Then you're going to want to take your placeholder blocks, build out 2 blocks, take yourself another sticky piston, place it right here facing into the redstone block, then replace your placeholder block with a slime block, and then do 2 more slime blocks like this, then 1 more like this. So you should be lined up with this observer at this point. Next, you're going to want to take your regular piston, place them right here, and 2 slime blocks just like so. Then you're going to want to put some placeholder blocks and place your observer facing upwards into this slime block. This observer will, as you've seen there, activate the whole system and ruin everything apparently. So next, you're going to want to put a redstone block right here, and then you're going to want to build out 1 block, then place a slime block right there, remove your placeholder block, and place a sticky piston facing into the redstone block. Next, you're going to want to place a observer facing downwards. What I would recommend 100% do, or else you'll trigger the whole system here, is I would place some blocks off to the side so that you can place the observer against those blocks. That way you're not updating this observer right here. Next, you're going to want to place yourself a regular piston right against that slime block. Take your slime, build out 3 blocks in an L shape like this. 2 slime, place them like this. Then you're going to want to take your placeholder blocks, build out 3 blocks, remove the middle 2, take a sticky piston, place it against that block facing into this slime block. This is how we'll pull the whole system forward so that it doesn't get left behind. Next, you want to take a observer, place it right here. And I would take your note block right before you place the sticky piston on here. Otherwise, the note block will update this observer and activate your sticky piston. Take your sticky piston, place them against that observer. That's what will be pulling this system right here. You can remove this block and replace it with a observer using some placeholder blocks like so. And that is the entire machine done, except for this broken system right here. Next, you're going to want to prime your TNT. This is where it gets a little bit more complicated. You don't want to just place your minecart right on top of here or else you'll actually activate the TNT. You need to trick this TNT into thinking it's not powered. Next, we're going to take some placeholder blocks, place them like this. Take yourself your minecart rail, place it there, place the cart on top of it. Gather yourself a sticky piston. You could just yoink one from here if you wanted to. It doesn't actually matter. Then you're going to want to place your regular piston right here. And then you're going to want to power that somehow. Up to you how you power it, doesn't matter. Now your TNT duper is primed and ready to go. So if everything is working as if you've done everything properly, if you click this note block, everything should activate and you should launch one piece of TNT forward. If you want to build the extra little bit on this machine, all you'll need to do is just add 3 blocks right here, 3 slime blocks like this, then a honey block right there, and now you got a little place that you can stand on the machine when it activates. So you can ride with your machine rather than walking on the floor. All right, so for the big tunnel bore, what you're going to need is all of these blocks right here for the base system. If you want to upgrade it a little bit and add yourself a little platform like this to walk on, this is what you'll need extra right here. And then this is just a quality of life item where you can update these fellow minecarts and add a little bit of storage to your system. All right, so what we're going to do first is we're going to get ourselves some placeholder blocks and we're going to place one right here. Then we're going to take our regular block and we're going to place it here. And then we're going to take 5 ancient debris and place it like this in a long line. This is where the TNT that gets launched out of there will go out onto this. And these are unexplodable but movable tile entities, so you won't have any problems there. Next, you're going to want to place another placeholder block on the ground here. Then you're going to want to put an observer on that with a regular piston facing this system. This is how we'll push the system along. Next, you're going to want your wall block. You're going to place that against the observer here. You're going to take a TNT, place it on top of that. Grab one of your dead coral fans, place it on top of this observer right here. Then take yourself a slime block, place it on top of that dead coral fan and one right next to the TNT like so. Then you're going to want to take a slab, place it right above the TNT and put a slab against this fence post underneath right here. Then you're going to want to take one of your regular blocks, place it right here and put a slime block up here. You can remove this block down here. Next, you're going to want to do the same thing we did in the last one with the extra little line piece here. So just build out with some random blocks and take one of your honey block and place it right here. Remove the other random blocks you placed and get your observer facing the redstone facing towards us, and then get yourself a regular piston and place it up against that observer facing into this. This is how we'll push this whole system. Next, you're going to want to build a tileable system. So build out 3 blocks, remove these middle 2 up against your 1 block here, place a regular piston facing this system here. Remove your placeholder block and build 3 slime blocks in a diagonal pattern like this. Next, you're going to want to take 2 observers, place one right here and place one right here, making sure their faces are facing into this corner right here. Next, you're going to want to take a sticky piston, place your sticky piston right here facing into this guy. Now you're going to want to gather yourself then you're going to want to place a regular piston right here and put a slime block below that piston you just placed right there. Next, you're going to want to gather one of your redstone blocks and place it like this. Then grab a honey block, place it like this. Then grab your last redstone block and place it like this. Now we can go ahead and copy the same system we did there, but we're going to mirror it this time. So what we're going to start with is our sticky piston. We're going to place it facing into the block just as we did over here with a slime block and a regular piston underneath with a slime block right here. And then we're going to do that diagonal, but in the opposite direction. And then we're going to place our regular piston right here with our 2 observers, doing the same thing over there, facing into this corner block right here. Next, we're going to build out 1 block with a regular random block, and then we're going to take our honey block and place it just like that, with a observer facing just like this, and then a regular piston right here. So we have that system right there. Next, we're going to build our TNT duper number 2. So we're going to go out 2 blocks, and then we're going to take down with a regular block. Then we're going to place another slime block up against that with a slab right below it. Next, you're going to put a wall against that slab with a observer facing towards us like so, with a regular piston right here. You're going to take your last dead coral fan, place it above the observer right here. Take yourself a TNT, place it just like so. Get yourself a slime block, place it above just like we did before, and take your last slab and place it against this guy right there. Now we got both our TNT dupers ready to go. We just need to prime them. Next, we're going to build out 2 blocks. Get rid of your middle block and just build 5 ancient debris out, same as we did on the other side. Next up, we're going to be building the engine. So for the engine, what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to add another honey block right here. Then we're going to build out 1 block. Then we're going to add a slime block right here. We're going to remove that placeholder block and replace it with a sticky piston facing into this honey block. Next, we're going to grab a regular piston and we're going to place it facing the opposite way of that piston against this slime block right here. Next, we're going to want to place a placeholder block right here, and we're going to place a observer facing into this slime block right here. Make sure not to place a block in front of here or else you'll activate this piston, which will wreck this system back here. So next, we're going to want to place a L shape of slime just like this, and then we're going to put a placeholder block right here, and we're going to place 2 slimes like so, and then we're going to take 1 honey block and we're going to place it just like this. Behind that honey block, we're going to place ourselves a sticky piston facing into the honey block, and right below that honey block, we're going to place another sticky piston piston facing into this block right here. Then we're going to put one of our regular blocks here. Then we're going to put a placeholder block right here, and we're going to build our note block right there. And we're going to place our observer right in the middle like that. I would make sure to put the observer in after you place the note block. Otherwise, you'll activate the observer, which will activate the piston, and the whole system will move. Next, we're going to place a temporary block right here, and we're going to take an observer and we're going to face it into this piston. If you want to hear the noise of the note block, you can just leave a block without it. If you don't want to, just place a block above it. Doesn't matter what block it is. It'll stop the sound of the note block whenever you click it. That should be everything for the basic tunnel bore. And if you click this button, it should move. Boom, boom, boom. The next thing you want to do is obviously prime your system so that it doesn't cripple like mine did here. For that, all you're going to want to do is take a placeholder block. You're going to take 2 placeholder blocks. You're going to place them like this. Gather your detector rail and then your minecart of choice. You can use a minecart with a chest for extra storage if you would like to. You're going to do that. Then you're going to power this piston somehow so that you push it onto there, tricking the TNT into thinking it's not active. You're going to do the same thing over here. Then you can remove that. So now your system is ready to go. So everything should function properly. And now your TNT duper is properly ready to go. If you want to add this walkway right here so you can actually stand on it, all you need to do is come to this side right here, get your one observer, get yourself an observer, place it against that slime block, take yourself a regular piston, place it up against that observer. Then simply you're going to want to take your slabs and do this like so. Then you're going to want to add yourself your honey block that you can stand on with a slab underneath. And you're going to take your stairs and do this. And then you can just put a placeholder block down here with a stair on the bottom of it. And then you can place a stair underneath in order to make sure this stair doesn't move. With that, now you can stand on this honey block right here and activate your tunnel bore while you're standing on it. Notice that you heard the sound of that block. If you just take a block, it doesn't matter what block, as long as it's not a redstone block, and you put it on top of there, you shouldn't hear the sound of the note block anymore, and you don't have to listen to the annoying dings. Now that's the tutorial for both those tunnel bores. Everything is done. If you ever need to rewatch it, just, scroll back through the chapters and you can view everything. Now I'm going to explain a little bit on how these work and how things function. When it comes to this big tunnel bore, everything here just functions by this piston pulls this block, which pulls this feller behind, makes sure that this pushes the system, and it's all just stuck together by a bunch of random slime blocks. So explaining this engine here, what's going on with this engine, or at least my thought process when I was trying to figure out how to make this engine function inside of a small little space. All we're doing is whenever you click this button, you're updating this observer, which is putting a signal into this block, which is updating this piston, which then pulls this block, which then pulls this whole system right here, pushing this guy forward, which makes this guy push this block, which then in turn pushes these two right here, and then this guy will pull this piston back. This piston right here must be separated from the system that actually activates it. Otherwise, you'll just have an infinite loop. So if I was to show you, for example, if I had this, if we got rid of this right here and we did this and we activated it, it would just be an infinite loop. Now you have an infinitely running machine. And yeah, nobody wants that. But with the system how it is with the honey block here, because honey block won't stick to a slime block, but this honey block pretty much acts the same as a slime block. It just doesn't send a signal through. That way, it just keeps the system from doing what we just did over there. Back here, whenever this system just simply pushes that, that's all that does. When this piston down here pulls this little system here, it pulls it, which activates this observer, which sends a signal into both of these, activating this guy to push and activating this guy to pull these 3 blocks here. And when these two redstone blocks get pulled away from these 2 sticky pistons, the sticky pistons retract, which pulls these 3 blocks, this whole system here. So it'll pull these 3 blocks, which in turn pulls this block, which in turn pulls these 3 blocks and just pushes it back. And then this observer gets activated and this observer gets activated. This one will trigger this guy to push the system back into place again. So it resets back to this form right here. And then this one, while it's being pushed, activates to push this guy, and this just pushes the TNT duper to actually activate. The TNT duper, with the minecart on there, you're just tricking the TNT into thinking it's not powered until it's updated. So if you had your minecart on here and you placed a block against this or broke any of the blocks around it, so if you broke this guy, you would update it because you'd be updating this fence post right here. If you broke this guy, you'd update the TNT, which is why you can't put the machine up against and why this one is so meticulously built. It's built in a way that this is all spaced out and there's nothing in here so that could update this TNT and blow up your machine. That's how that one over there works. How this one works is simply, it's pretty much the same thing with a different engine design. That one's only 3 blocks tall. This one is 4 blocks tall due to having to fit everything. It's a 4x4 machine because you can't fit the machine down here. Otherwise you have problems with, like, this observer would stick here and it would break, and these blocks would stick with those blocks. So the main engine part had to get pushed up one block in order to be out of the way of this sticky blocks along here. I even tried moving this block over, but then this becomes the item push limit. The item push limit's already reached. This is 12 blocks in total, the whole TNT duper. So you can't add any blocks to it. And if any blocks get stuck to it, then it just breaks. And when that happens, if it gets pushed, then gets stuck, then well, guess what happens to your TNT? It gets activated and then it stays right there. It'll fall through the fence post and just fall on the ground and then explode everything. So like this one in here, this was when I was testing and building different designs for the machine. It's very dark in here. I made a mistake while I was doing it. I decided to change one block in the system to see if it would make a difference, and yeah, it definitely made a difference. It blew up the entire machine. So if you enjoyed this tutorial and you want to see more tutorials maybe in the future of different redstone machines, let me know down below. If you want to see me build an automatic TNT duper so it automatically will run constantly instead of just being manually activated, let me know down below in the comments and I will make a tutorial video on how to do that. If you have any questions about things that I talked about in the video, let me know down below and I will answer them to the best of my ability. And subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys in the next one.